Alright, Surly Bob here. It's bright and early in the morning. Last night we had some straight line winds that hit the farm, and so I've got this big mess to cut up and kind of clear my driveway. Over there is the tree we cut up last weekend. I need to saw up that big log and save some of that for firewood. Other than that, we just got general trash around the farm that came out of the trees when we got hit by those high winds, and we just got a little cleanup, and I'll probably get my my grandson to help with that. We got the garden in. I haven't checked to see the damage to it yet, so maybe we better walk over there and take a look at that. My wife and I put the garden in this week, a couple days ago. Watered everything in. We've been experiencing a drought in this area of Iowa, and we watered the plants in good, but it looks like all our little coffee cans are in place. The plants don't look bad at all. Looks like that helped protect them from the wind, and we'll just have to watch them real close since they're recent transplants. I didn't want the wind to batter them up too much. So yeah, just general trash pickup, a little bit of saw work today, and we'll get the day going. And I got some tractor work. I need to do some work on my quick attach and get that going, but for now it's running pretty good. This is more urgent to try to keep our driveway open for deliveries and visitors and whatnot. I've already done a little bit of saw work, and you can see where this limb came off the tree. It was a dead limb, and it was threatening our highline wire up here. I want to look in the sun, but this is our one power line that comes into the house, and this big dead limb has been hanging over that, threatening it. And as you can see, two of those big trunks blew off when that high wind hit, and blew them right down in the yard, nice and convenient for me. So it don't get any better than that. I think even in the worst storm, God's looking out for you. So he did me a favor here. So I'm gonna fire up my Stihl saw. This is one of two saws I have. It's a 036 Pro, and this thing chews right through the wood. So we'll get going here. I'm only chopping this up in enough sizes it'll go in my grapple bucket and clean this mess up. There, I think that's pretty good for this. Oh, I got one left here, I guess I missed. You can chop this one off or it's not gonna load good. There we go. Well, that's enough for now. Let's go chop up this big trunk, and I think I'm gonna have to take my grapple bucket off and get my regular bucket on when I go to clean up all this trash. Just a doggone mess. There's a squirrel over here trying to see what he can salvage off of this tree, I imagine. I got a couple of big fat squirrels here. They like to rob the bird feeder. This log had a twin because that stump is hollow, and I had to cut it off in two big drops, two big trunks. I chopped up the other one already. This is what's left. This is the little one. And problem I deal with here is you know, some of it I'd like to keep for firewood, but some of these smaller trunks like this, it just ain't worth it. So it's maple. I'm just gonna toss the thing in on the burn pile and keep the heavier stuff for firewood, and that should work pretty good. But yeah, so there we go. Now some of you may wonder, what's the secret to chainsawing? This saw is going through the wood pretty quickly. And you notice down here at my feet, I've got really good sized chips. These chips aren't real fine. They're pretty hefty chips, and that means the teeth on my cutting chain are really digging in and grabbing out big old chips. That means the chain is really sharp. So I've always found the secret to chainsawing and put the least amount of stress on your body is to have a sharp chain and a square bar. This bar, every now and then, takes some filing to keep it square because that chain wears on it. And always make sure your oiler is working. The way to check that is start up your saw and run it at high speed right on a piece of wood like this without touching, and see if you leave a trail of oil. So I'm going to do that now. So you see there, I left a trail of oil where that chain was running. That means my oiler is working good. It's oil in my chain, and it's all working really good. Now, if you use the saw horizontally like this, it's a lot harder for that chain to get oil. So just run it a little while like that, but then bring it up and oil that chain good, because this is the worst position you can do cutting with a saw, is sideways like this. That is really hard on the bar, and it's really hard on the chain, and it'll wear things out prematurely. So try not to do too much of that kind of work without, you know, making sure you bring it up here and oil that chain good, because it is going to wear things out no matter what you do. Another thing you might want to pay attention to, you got these teeth here on your saw, and you should, when you're cutting, you want to hook those teeth into the thing and just pivot like this. Let the saw do the work. If you see somebody here and they're sawing like this, I mean, that's just ignorant. That's a lot of extra work, a lot of extra effort. You don't saw like that with a chainsaw. You get the sucker right up here, you lock it in, and you pivot and come down, lock it in again, pivot some more, lock in. When you do that, it's a lot less stress on you, and it's a lot less stress on the saw too. So just a word to the wise. Some of you may wonder why I'm cutting such small pieces. Some of these are no more than a foot to maybe 8 inches. because that's what fits in my solo stove. I got the solo bonfire stove, and I found these shorter pieces. When I split them, they dry out good, and then they fit real good in that stove, and we enjoy that of an evening. Just making a little bonfire and sitting there, and maybe have a sip of libation, and smoke a cigar or something, and just enjoy life. It's great out here on the farm when you can just enjoy yourself like that a little bit, and do that. So I'm gonna see how much of the rest of this I can saw up, and then we'll get the tractor out.